We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping. We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby. What's up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of Speak Your Mind Radio. And today, y'all, we doing something a little different. You know what I'm saying? We got a real good ass episode for y'all today. I promise you. We have a very special guest in the house. So, without further ado, let's welcome to the show actor and comedian who has toured with both Rickey Smiley and rapper Tech N9ne all the way from Kansas City, Missouri, boy. Introducing Bobby J. Coleman. What's up, man?
Yo. Hello. What's happening? You're supposed to have like the audience reaction, like, I don't know. It's just funny if you had it, like a button you can push.
I was thinking about that too. I need to learn how to edit that into the show because I had a few people say that to me.
And it's funny because we know it's canned laughter or crowd reaction, but it's just funny to have it. So. But thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Let's have some fun today.
Yes, Bobby. Let's do this. Okay. As you may not know, but I do start off all my interviews with an icebreaker question for my guests. So let's get it.
Okay.
All right. How old is the oldest pair of shoes in your closet, Bobby?
Oh man, this is random. I would say probably about 15 years old.
For real, yeah.
Yeah. I'm so basic. Like, of course I have like a lot of designer shoes, but I wear like running shoes just normally, and then I wear my good shoes for like, when I'm doing shows or something like that, or on
events.
Vacation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, events. So that's what it's reserved for. But I looked, and it's funny you said that because I looked in my closet the other day. I have shoes that's in my son's closet too. And I looked in there and I was like, oh man, I remember these shoes. And it's like some Jordans that I got from like, 2008 or 2009.
Dang.
Yeah, they just came out again. I think like early this year or late last year. But I keep some shoes. I'm a Jordan collector. I have Yeezys. I have Air Maxes. Just whatever, just whatever. So no, you know what? No, I'm lying. You won't believe this. You will not believe this. My oldest pair of shoes, I got them in 95. They're in my closet. There's some, and I don't know how I missed these. These are the Shaq Reeboks.
You said the Shaq Reeboks? Oh my God.
Yes, they are the Shaq Reeboks. I had them. I was always a Shaq fan, and I was the only guy in high school that'll wear Shaq shoes. They were like the Reeboks. So, and I was a basketball player too. So, I would. So I kept them because I ended up doing the Shaq tour. Mm-hmm. About 6 years ago, I was on the Shaq All Stars comedy tour, and I had him to autograph him when I met him. But that's
awesome.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo because I even know all his music too. So we can skip past this part if you want.
Oh no, we definitely a music podcast. So we're gonna talk about that.
Let's do it.
So you say you had all his shoes and you knew all the music that he did too?
Yes, I had every shoe he came out with. I had it. Okay, so you know what? We digging deep. Let's do it. So I bought all his tennis shoes, and I was always a fan of him as a player when he got drafted in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And And then I actually, because he had the Superman tattoo on his bicep, and I got the same tattoo. It's covered up now, but I got it in high school. And then, but yes, I know all his music. Any song he played, I know it. I could rap the whole album. It got me through high school, man, and middle school. And yeah, and then that was like, I was like a fanatic. Like, there's nothing nobody could tell me about Shaq, like stats, anything, I know it. And so that was just my thing. And then when I got to do the Shaq tour, and got to meet him, we met, and I told him about a time, an occurrence that we had met, because they played a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was an exhibition game here in Kansas City, and this was like 98 or 99. And I remember meeting him. He was playing for the Lakers then, and it was just for a short time. And I told him, I like recited one of his songs, and he was like bugging out. He was like, yo, like, this dude knows my music. And he had to get on the bus. So I never ran into him again. So funny thing is, I was in Memphis doing the Shaq tour, and it was like, Michael Blackson, Gary Owen, everybody on this show. And that was one of the stops, and actually Shaq showed up for it. So we're in the dressing room, and he pops in, and he's doing this thing. And I don't like to bother people. I've seen people, but I hadn't seen this guy forever. So when I finally got a moment to talk to him, we were kind of roasting a little bit. And then he was like, he was just, I was like, man, because I had the shoes on. I actually had the Shaq shoes on. Cool. I was like, man, can you autograph my shoes? He was like, yeah, no problem, man. And I told him, man, I just killed the show or whatever. He's like, I saw you a little bit. I saw you up there, So, and I wasn't officially on this tour. I had made the tour through other means. It was a competition that I did in Orlando to get on the tour, but I was given dates on it. So, so when we were in the locker room, and I think so, the video was on. I had another Instagram page.
Okay.
And it ended up getting shut down because this when Instagram was first starting to pop. And then I was just posting recklessly, and I got my page took. So so that's why I don't really post too much on there now, because I'm kind of salty and bitter about it, because I had a ton of followers. But so what I did a video, and I was like going back and forth rapping this song with Shaq. And the video was on that page, and then the page got took. So I don't have it, but we went back and forth. So it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope.
That's messed up. They took your page down, especially because you said you had a video with you and Shaq rapping back and forth.
Yeah, he did a line. I did a line of his song. It was a song called "Heated Up" on his Respect album. I think it came out like, oh man, this probably came out like I would say 99, 2000.
Wow.
And I was like, start rapping it, and then he would do a verse, and I would, not a verse, but bar, back and forth. So it was dope. I've met some pretty notable people. It's been a man, I'm telling you, it's been a blessing to just meet these people. And then it just feels so normal now. That's the beauty of it. I don't get weirded out.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a little bit I do, but it's because like my favorites, I guess we're in the music. I guess this might be the music segment now, but my favorite, like, man, I'm like a Lionel Richie fan, a Billy Ocean fan.
Wow.
The System, they did "Don't Disturb This Groove." I traveled to Jacksonville to see them February of last year because I had never seen them live, and I'm a huge fan of The System, so. That's what I do in terms of music. Like I will travel, like I was going to go to Canada to see this group called Chromeo, and they're like a synth pop duo. They're actually from Canada, but they live in New York. And I was going to travel to Canada to see them. And he ended up having a show in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I ended up going there and taking a picture with him and got to meet him and stuff. So, I had a bucket list. I have a bucket list of people that I try to go and see, but I'm a huge music person.
That's what's up. You at the right place because this is this is a platform I built for underground artists to, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, get they shine, talk they shit, and while we at it, we're gonna play their music, all their hit songs and everything. You feel me? And
Perfect.
with you, like, not only are you an actor and a comedian, feel me, but you used to compose music back in the day when we went to, oh, I guess I didn't tell the people this, y'all. We went we went to school together. Lincoln University is a HBCU in Missouri, feel me? And I'm just gonna tell my story real quick about how I knew you and everything. There was this joke going around campus, y'all, about about the lunch lady, Miss Pat, the school cafeteria lady. I love Miss Pat. She cold as hell. Like, she's just funny to me. And the joke kind of went like, oh my God, I don't even want to say it. It was like, okay, it was like not a rumor, it was a joke going around campus that because Miss Pat ain't had no teeth in her mouth at the time or whatever, you know? And so they was saying that, like, she gave, oh God, I can't do it. She gave, like, head to one of the students or whatever. I'm just saying it, fuck it. And she gave head to one of the students with no teeth, and I was fucking rolling because, like, everybody knew who Miss Pat was, period. Feel me?
Right.
So this shit was just hilarious. So, I forgot what I was about to ask you, but like, just like talk about, like, I guess Lincoln times, like when did you first feel like, you know what, this is me, this is what I want to do, I want to be a comedian, because everybody thinks I'm a comedian anyway because I be cracking jokes and roasting motherfuckers. So like, just talk about that.
So my introduction to comedy was about 91, and that was my first time seeing comedy was Sinbad. And I was watching his special, and I didn't know what this was. I just knew it was a guy on stage being funny, and he was talking about my mom because the things he was saying about his parents, it resonated. So I remember being on the floor, dying laughing, and my older brother came in with his friend, and he was like, I mean, I was out of breath. And he was like, man, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, watching this. What is this? So it was Sinbad's comedy special. I think it was his first one. And it was so funny. He was talking about, like, you know, ordering food at McDonald's and just how we stand there and we act like we don't know what we want. We've been there a million times. Like, it was so funny. So I didn't know what that was, but I just knew I wanted to be funny. So then I got into middle school, and there was this Yo Mama book that came out. And it was by Dre and Ed Lover, because they used to do the Snaps thing on TV. So I remember buying the book. And no, I didn't even buy the book. I couldn't afford the book. I think the book was like $20 at like one of these bookstores or something in the mall. So, and the reason I wanted the book was because in my class, there was this guy named Eric. This was 7th grade. This guy named Eric Harris, and then this girl named Trina, and another girl named Heather. Heather was a white girl. She was like a trailer park girl, but she was so funny. Like, everybody loved her. And she could roast her butt off.
Cool.
So they used to just pick on people when the teacher leave, you know, when the teacher leave, the roast session starts. And they never got me, but I knew that day was coming. So I remember going to the mall, and I seen this book, and it was like Yo Mama. It was like a Snaps book. And what I did, I would remember like 3 or 4 jokes at a time. And I would go to when I would go to the mall, and then I would write the jokes down. So I would go into the store, and you know, the guy would see me like looking at the book, and I'm trying to remember, like, Yo Mama's so fat, this, that. So what happened is, one day the teacher left. It was a math class, Miss Gray. She left, and the roast session started up. And I couldn't wait. I was like, man, somebody better hit me today, because I'm ready. I got about 6 jokes. So Eric went, he hit Trina. Trina went, she hit Eric back. Eric hit Heather. Heather hit both of them back. And then Eric hit me.
Damn.
Why he do that? I stood up. Them jokes I've been rehearsing for the last few weeks. Boom, boom, boom. Lighting them up. Whole class just on the floor. Like, oh my God. Now, mind you, them ain't my jokes, but, you know, nobody knew where the jokes came from. I was ready. So at that moment, like, I was the talk of the school. Like, oh man, he could roast. Like, so that just put something in me, because the thing is, I was, out of everybody in my family, I was the most quiet. Like, I was the most reserved.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, my mom, she's hilarious. My grandma was hilarious. Like my whole
Wow.
family, and I was the one that was like quiet and just observant. But it was always in me to be funny. One thing I could do was be funny. Like I can reenact things and see movie scenes out. Like I would do that stuff.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, so I started to hone my own skills with roasting people, and I use that even to this day when I'm doing stand up,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody wants to. I mean, they don't really heckle me, but somebody might say something back, and then I get on them, and it's out of fun, it's out of love. But I use that skill to this day. So what happened when I got to Lincoln U?
Mm-hmm.
It used to be a lot of roast sessions. We was in the dorms. I was in Martin at first, and I was in Perry Hall, and we were just getting roast sessions in the hallway, and couldn't
Oh.
nobody take me down. So a lot of people would bring, they get their cousin might enroll, and then my cousin from here, he funny, he can roast you, and then I'd be like, let's go, and then I just look him up and down a little bit, and then he'll go, and then I'll go, and I'm like, I'm on it because I'm able to take what you're wearing or your shoes or your
Damn, look
haircut.
at you.
Yeah, and I would just do that. So people thought, hey, he got to be a comedian because
Mm-hmm.
everything about me was just being goofy. And then of course I was the Lincoln U mascot for three years.
I never knew that
So
until I saw you on Otis Show.
yeah, nobody knew that. And I really just now started telling people. A couple close friends knew, but really I kept it under wraps. Even when it was over, I wasn't like trying to be known as the mascot. I just knew when I first got there, this guy Romel, and it was another guy. He was the mascot. And they were kind of boring. I remember being
Mm-hmm.
at the basketball game, and I was like, what? So the guy ended up leaving school, and then I reached out to the cheerleading coach, and she was like, yeah, if you want the job, we can just do a little rehearsal. So I was learning their moves, and I never did the cheerleader moves, but maybe one time in those 3 years. But I did it was so fun with doing that. But anyway, so to get back to the comedy part,
Yeah.
so people would, we would have a lot of step shows and stuff like that in school. So I remember like the Deltas were the first ones. They asked me, hey, can you host our step show?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I hosted a step show. So when people would come out, I'd either roast them or, it's always that one person that couldn't keep up and I'd make fun of them, or, somebody in the crowd or my friends, they'd sit in a group and I'd be like, yeah, I know you ain't laughing with your crooked hairline, or, whatever. And it just was fun. So that started to pick up. So I was hosting more and more. And then when there happened to be a comedy competition on campus, I never knew about it. I never heard about it, but it was just one random evening. I was strolling through the student union
Mm-hmm.
and saw this sign-up sheet, and my name was number one on there. And somebody, like I
Put
said,
your name
still to this day, I don't know who put my name on there, and they are pretty much responsible for my career, because if I'm given an opportunity, I'm going to use that one opportunity and make a million opportunities out of it. And that's one thing that I learned about myself is if I see a little wiggle room, like I tell people, they be like, man, you got this going and you got that going. And I tell people, I'm operating off of one yes. I've been told no 100 times.
Yeah.
But I'm operating off of one yes. And I just had to, I don't let that yes die. If this is the opportunity that you've been given, or if you got a commercial or you got an opportunity to do something, remind people, don't let it die. That one yes can mean everything. It's somebody that might have filmed the movie Shawshank Redemption back in the day that's still eating from off of that movie because of how notable it was. And, I had opportunities to tour with people, and I got Comic View. I did a lot of stuff. Got Doritos commercial. I don't let people forget that. Yeah, Doritos commercial. Yeah.
What year was that?
That was, it's still on my YouTube. It's kind of, it's on my YouTube, I think. I know I see it when I go on there, but I think it's like private, but I can send you the link. But I think, Yeah, I can make it public, but it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I would say about 5 years ago, inside of 5 years ago. Yeah. So
that's fascinating. I mean, you just have a lot of charisma and stories to tell, and I think the profession that you're in fits you because just basically what you told me from your childhood and how you got into comedy. And speaking of which, like how quiet you were, and you're a comedian. This shit is wild to me. Like, that's crazy or whatever. I'm serious.
You wouldn't believe the personalities of comedians when you're around them. Like, it's not a bunch of joking and having fun, you know. Damn. It's a lot of seriousness. You know, if I'm hanging out with Kevin Hart, like I pretty much started with him, and you know, I got pictures of him from way back in the day, before, right around Soul Plane time. Even though he started around the time I did, we did shows together, making $150. You know, it's just amazing the direction he's went. Still cool to this day. I don't, you know, I reach out to him when he's nearby, and I'll attend the show, and we'll hang out and stuff like that. But I got Kevin his first booked comedy club weekend ever in the Kansas City Improv. So, you know, I'm about opportunities, you know, and I just knew he had something. Even with watching him, I was like, he makes this seem so effortless. And a lot of his comedy is self-deprecation, you know. He's just making fun of himself being small or his voice being high-pitched or light. And he did the Improv, and I remember his show, it was the second show on a Friday night, and those are usually packed. Mm-hmm. He had 80 people in there.
Damn.
And I remember we were standing at this table in the lobby, and he had his DVDs he was selling. And it wasn't like Grown Little Man. He hadn't even done Grown Little Man yet. It was like live from the Laugh House or something. It was in Philly. He did where he's from, and nobody was stopping to take pictures, no nothing. And he just kept that drive, that motivation, because what he had in him, he knew the world needed to see it. And seeing somebody come from there, that's enough inspiration for me. It's not something that I witnessed on social media, a person go from here to there to 1 million followers. Like, I watched this guy work and grind. And then he'd call me up, hey man, I got this college in Kansas or this college in Nebraska or here, you know, I want you to come through. And we had another friend, Jay, he's a comedian who passed away about 10 years ago. He used to roll with us as well. And he would just hit us up. We'd meet him and we'd go do the show. And that was just our thing for a while. So, you know, I just have a good history with him, and just a genuine friendship. And that's just something that, like I tell people, it's just, you get around the right people. You know, it ain't even about the person being successful. If their mindset is successful, that's enough. You don't have to see, you know, this person with $1 million. They can have $1 million mentality. They can always be optimistic and just have that drive, and it just jumps in you. It's about energy, you know. It's about so just seeing that and just coming up with these people, it's like proud moments when I see these guys on TV. And you're in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so y'all got, you know, Lil Rel, who made his rise through the ranks, and me and him are really close friends, you know.
You said who from Chicago?
Lil Rel.
You mean Uncle Rel?
Lil Rel, he was in Get Out movie, and
he was in Jordan Peele's Get Out movie? Yeah,
he was a security guard.
TSA. Oh yeah, that dude. Oh my God, that dude is so freaking funny. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my dude, and we linked up early in the game. And like I was telling, I was on the last interview, I was talking about bringing him to Kansas City, and I just saw something to him. I was like, this dude is electric. He's just a different type of comedian.
Exactly.
For $200.
Dang.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's dope.
Oh,
Yeah, you speak of all these people with status like Kevin Hart and everything, like you watched him grow, not per se on the internet like we all are doing now, but in a real organic type of way. You were right there looking at him, and I love the fact that you said, you know, don't don't rely on the no's or whatever. Just go with that, like you did. Go with that one yes and make it alive, and don't forget, because as long as you have a mentality of self success, then that's all that's needed. Everything else is a wrap. Everything else will follow in this order.
absolutely. People don't know what other people are fueled with um, to get them where they were at. They just see them in that opportunity. And some people feel like when somebody else gets an opportunity, that's an opportunity taken from them.
Right.
And it's like, no, that's not. That opportunity is for them. It's opportunities that I didn't get at the moment. Oh, I was livid. Not livid like breaking stuff, but I was hurt. And then when I look back, and I'm like, man, I wasn't ready for that responsibility. I wasn't ready for that opportunity, because that could have done something for me that mentally I wouldn't have been ready for it. And I just would have been that guy that would have probably destroyed his career by saying something, or just thinking, like I wouldn't have put my career first. I would have put my emotions and feelings first. So I had to grow to a point of being able to just understand that, it's just you. Like, a lot of people are still struggling with that today. When you see them on social media, they're using social media and ruining their careers because, because they don't think that. I tell people I could be a PR person for real, because anything that happens, all you have to do is just stay quiet for 48 hours and people will move on. We're in a this too shall pass era. It don't matter. Like, half of us can't think of what we were mad about last Wednesday.
Oh my God.
Regarding a person or a relationship, a celebrity relationship that broke up, and we get online arguing with other people for 2-3 hours. Like, we can't even remember what that is. Everything shall pass. What matters matters, and what doesn't matter. And I see a lot of people, especially with comedians, they have a way of feeling like, again, another person's opportunity should be theirs, or they're competing with it. And it's like, why compete? You can never knock off another person from where they're supposed to be at. You can't come for a person's career and think that that's going to make your career. Name somebody in history of any music, movies, who said, "Oh, I'm coming for Will Smith." It's never happened. What Will got is Will's. What Denzel got is Denzel's. What Mike Epps got is Mike's.
Right.
So when and I always tell people, every second you focus on somebody's what somebody else got, you're taking a second away from building towards your situation. So you're 4 or 5 years in complaining about other people getting opportunities, and you could have spent those 4 or 5 years emailing or calling or trying to be in the same space with these people, hoping lightning strikes, and you could have got an opportunity. But those people now are in a space where they don't even have to look at you. Who are you? You're somebody that's bitter and worried about. So as a comedian, it's difficult to be friends with other comedians, because it really is, because we're in a different day where there are no platforms to push us. So any opportunity, they're all scrambling for that same one opportunity, because there's no Comic View, there's no Def Jam, no First Amendment, none of that anymore. So anything that happens, it really it's like everybody's scratching and clawing at the same thing, and you'll get a lot of hate for just getting that opportunity. But speaking of one opportunity that passed me up, that I look back, was I had opportunity to do the Arsenio Hall show when he returned, and I was going to meet the producer, she was, I can't remember her name, but I had a show scheduled in Los Angeles at the Ha Ha Comedy Club.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was going to come out and watch me and then make a determination that night. And something happened. The show got canceled.
Wow.
And yeah, so we had stayed in contact. And then I was trying to reschedule it so she could come out. She was really interested because she was like, oh, I heard a lot about you. I just want to see you, you know, live. And, you know, I was like working on a set to actually, you know, do for the Arsenio Hall show. And shortly after, the Arsenio Hall show ended up canceling, but I know that would have been a major push for me as a comedian, and no telling where that would have took me. So, but when I think about it, I'm like, man, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that overnight, because it would have been a
overnight success, basically.
Yeah, it would have been overnight success. Really it would have been overnight success. So I wouldn't have been ready for that.
That your story is fascinating. I don't know how many times I said that before, but you are giving out gems right now, diamonds, motivation, inspiration, and I love it. For a man to sit here and admit that the opportunity that could have cultivated his whole entire career, he admits that I may have not been ready for that. I may have or may have not been ready for that.
Right.
That's amazing. Like you're growing, your growth is impeccable. You know what I'm saying? You could take those missed opportunities, so to speak, failures, and count them as like stepping stones to your accomplishments, to your success.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I dig you, like for real. Like
Thank you. I mean, and that's the downside to it. I find the positive in it. You know, I haven't really touched on things that I've necessarily done. It's just those, just the opportunities that presented themselves, and just being in the room with certain people. That's how, like, if people can just, it's like right now, if you were if you were a singer and you had the chance to sit in the same room with Beyonce and just feel her energy, and then leave. What will that do for you?
Oh now, my God, what?
Yeah, just that. But do you have that ability to build off of just energy? Do you have the ability to soak that energy up, or are you looking at it from a, you know what, I didn't get the opportunity to talk to her, or I didn't get the opportunity to work with her, or, you know, just look at being in the same room and seeing what it is about her. Like, that's the biggest part. And that's what my motivation and my fuel, and it gives me peace. It's like, I see how they do it. I see how they interact with people. Yeah, I'm in the airport or I'm in anywhere. People recognize me from the dumbest stuff. And I'll be like, yeah, I want y'all to recognize me from this, but everybody's different.
God, yes.
Yeah, and they'll be like, oh, like the Derek Jackson video was probably one of the latest ones because it went crazy viral. And
talk about it.
Derek Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knows Derek Jackson is like the car guru, the relationship guru.
Right.
And I just, you know, my thing is I've had my fair share of being a relationship expert, but I'm a relationship expert to a degree of, I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna hurt your feelings.
Oh, yes.
I don't want you to come back later. Like, my friends, if they come to me, I know they really need like advice. And I've never been a person that's needed relationship advice ever. Like, I've never been like, what do I need? I just leave, or I just figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But with listening to him, people will be like, you remind me of him. And I'm like, who? And then I looked at him and I was like, this dude crazy. Like, his advice starts out sounding good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just takes this turn. It just drags the life out of me. And this is how I wrap up my perspective of Derek Jackson. I get what he's saying. I get his angle, where he's coming from with his advice, but he's only focusing on 5% of the pie. He's focusing on those dudes that don't have any drive or any motivation, or just a bum dude. This bum dudes is bum women. That's just, but he only focuses on the bottom of the barrel guys. And also what he does is he even makes the average 9-to-5 career, just the straight up and down guy seem inadequate in relationships. And now women are leaving these Derek Jackson seminars damaged because their expectations are misplaced. And he's not healing women. All he's doing is putting women on guard or making them fear things versus saying, you know what, you should look at men this way. He never acknowledges college educated men. He never acknowledges entrepreneur men. He never acknowledges men that own businesses or men that even are college educated and just work a regular job. He makes women think that men are just these it's like something you need to like he hurts their perception more than he helps it. So when a woman meets a man that's right for her, that her energy is going to be off because she subscribes to Derek Jackson.
Damn.
And I'm like, women don't need that. Women need to come in at 100%, and they will be able to recognize when that man is giving 100%.
Right.
He's sending women out here, like knocking on doors, like unprepared in relationships. It's like they leave his seminars and they damage. And I'm like, and I try to figure out multiple ways to do it. And one day, of course, somebody told me I look like him because I had a hat on. And then I was like, I really do. So a couple of weeks went by and I was like, I'm going to have to make a parody video because I've never tried to be somebody else. So I wrote on some shirts because he likes to wear these shirts like "My Black is Beautiful."
Exactly.
You come from whatever panders to women, and I get it. If you're hurt, when you hurt, anything resonates with you that's hurt. Like Summer Walker was the hurt anthem of last year, and whatever. So,
right.
But I just decided to make a couple shirts. So I made it. One said like, it's him, not you, pander wear. What was the other one? It was like 4 or 5 shirts I made. So and I made sure they were different colors so people can recognize it. Mm-hmm. So when I would give my advice, the shirt would change. So it'd be like, hey ladies, have you ever cheated on your man? Or have your man ever caught you cheating? Well, if you did, I can't, I'm trying to remember, but I don't really go back and watch it, but I would twist I would twist the advice to basically bash men and make it so unrealistic. Like, your man won't hire a private chef to cook dinner for you. He ain't a real man or something like that. Some just far-fetched. So I put it online, and I'm the type that I put something online and I just go away. And then if I come back, it's doing numbers, cool. So I posted it, and I think I didn't go back to it till like the next day. So when I see my notifications, it was like crazy.
I bet.
And then he had women. It was like women going on me like, you just hating on him because this and just that. And I'm just like, I'm not. It's satire. It's like watching SNL or In Living Color. I'm just making fun of how he does things. I'm not hating on the man. So people tagged him, and then he had blocked me on Facebook and Instagram.
Damn.
Yeah. No, he didn't block me on Instagram till the second video. So he had made some comments about me on a status and saying, like people hating on him and all this stuff. And it was just right at the time of that video, and it went crazy. So probably a couple years later, I finally, because it's still to this day, I can probably go to that video right now on Facebook, and I guarantee you, like 2 minutes ago was a comment on it. Like, that's how much that video still circulates through the internet.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I was in Denver last year, and I was just bored one day. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't feel like going to the gym, and I was bored. So I Googled a T-shirt company, and I had him make some T-shirts just like his. So he really actually pressed them up like right in front of me, and I paid like $60 for like 2 T-shirts to get pressed up because I was about to go in on this next video. So I'm sitting in the parking lot of like Walmart, and I do this video, and I had the idea, so I was just like, I'm just gonna ramble off a whole bunch of like Derek Jackson-isms, like, "Hey ladies," just whatever he does. And one shirt says, it says, "Ladies," or when will broke women realize that it's something like, "When will broke women realize that a broke man is her dream," or I don't know, her match or something like that. I can't remember. I still got the T-shirt. And then another one is like, "I talk about men, but I'm the worst one of them all," or something like that. So as I'm doing
That's funny.
so as I'm doing the videos, I'm doing them in clips, and I'm like, "What up, Team Jackson?" Ladies, and I kept laughing, and I'm like, I cannot do this. And it was hot too. I know it was hot because I had the windows rolled up, and I didn't want it to be loud. And I was in there sweating, and I'm laughing so hard because when I would say the lines, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I would start laughing. So I got maybe 3 of them out, and then I just spliced in the ones where I started laughing at the end. And then that one went viral. And that's when he blocked me on. Because he was getting tagged like crazy. So.
Sorry, that's so funny though. We get tagged anyway, so he just blocked you.
He just got tired of seeing it. So
hell yeah, and it's still getting comments.
Huh?
I said it's still getting comments to this day.
I know. I'm gonna go check too. I'm gonna go check because I don't really post much on Instagram. I post mostly on Facebook because there's more tangible audiences there. So. And they're more likely to tag people, but yeah. So my thing is, I've been reached out to people because of my antics on social media, and I'll get into that in a second. But I had to grow up a lot on social media too. So, but with this whole Derek Jackson thing, people were trying to set it up where we basically talked like we had, and I kind of got wind. I had a manager at the time. She was like, his people were like, "We'll consider it, like to sit down and just kind of talk it out." Because my thing was, I'm about to go in on this dude's head. Like, I'm going to be the alternative Derek Jackson. Like, that was my goal because honestly, I was bored and being an asshole.
Ooh.
But at the same time, the advice he's giving women out here is damaging. So I really felt like, you know what? I have a platform. I have a voice. I might as well be the anti-Derek Jackson person. Now, I don't want to chop his head off and take away what he's doing. Just be fair. Be balanced.
Right.
Because and if anybody knows me, they know that, I'm very much an advocate for the right thing. So whether it's men or women, but the narrative that's out here, especially on social media, is that men just don't. Men ain't, men can't, men won't. Mm-hmm. And it's like the thing is men are we're less likely to really talk publicly about our woes, especially for dating. Women are more likely to be hurt because a lot of women, and these are no generalizations by any means, but a lot of women feel like every relationship they step foot in should be the one. And if it doesn't work out, they give up, they fall out. Oh, I'm not dating anymore. Men ain't this. And it's like, you interacted with two ain't shit men, but now you're publicly putting out there that men ain't. And then you're getting more people on the bandwagon. And it's like, but you do know that men who are and men that can do see that.
Right.
So we are like, okay, I'm going to just sidestep this person because obviously she's damaged, or, you know, she has this perspective, because there's nothing worse than walking into a relationship or just walking around, period, being stigmatized. And it's tough enough being a Black man, but we all got to do better. But I think for women, it's so overwhelming with the internet. Some women make careers out of just bashing men. And some of it be funny, you know, I laugh and I share it too, just the same. But it's like men are so quiet because we're afraid to share screenshots or do this or do that, because they're gonna be like, "Oh, you a bitch,
right?
You acting just like a female."
Right.
We can't get out of a relationship or go on a bad date and then go publish it on Facebook or Twitter and be like, "Let me tell you about this." They can be like, "Man, you sound like a bitch." But women, they can go and do it, and then it's like, "Dang, these dudes out here," and I'm like, "Come on, man, like really, that's not fair." So my thing is just be real. Derek Jackson to me is not real. It's nothing that people can do with his advice. Now, if you don't want to do better, then yeah, subscribe to Derek Jackson's rhetoric. But me as a man, I would never want a woman fresh out of a Derek Jackson seminar, because she's not going to be the type of woman that I need, because she's already going to look at me a certain way based off of how he puts it. And Derek Jackson's not about healing. He's just about selling his little paperback book and T-shirts.
You're so silly, yes.
So,
I know.
Yeah. So, but he's definitely somewhere to start. But if you're 30 plus and you need Derek Jackson's advice, then it's you lack discernment, and that's one of the things that, you know, Derek Jackson, he only offers entry-level relationship advice.
Dang.
He's good for women in their 20s, 22, 23.
Exactly.
They like the type of dude.
Yes.
Yeah, they like a type of dude, like rough around the edges, but this. Yeah, he's perfect for that. But when you're 40, when you're 40 years old, talking about, oh, yeah, preach, Derek. All he said was 1 + 1 = 2.
Exactly.
He's eating that up. So you have to work on you. And this ain't about bashing women. This is just saying, recognize what he's doing to you. Because I want them to want better. If I didn't care, I'd be like, oh, go ahead. I'll join in on it and capitalize too. But I care too much. I'm not that, oh, get your money type person. That's what's wrong with our people today is we too busy saying get your money, no matter how damaging it is to our culture. Don't do that. We need the OGs to step up and say, no, that ain't cool. You're not about to leave this culture smoking and then you gone with your paycheck and we got to fix it. We got too much of that going on. That's why everything with our culture and entertainment and everything like that is kind of come and go. Nobody really invests in. Nobody cares about it.
Garbage.
They get what they can. Yeah, it's a lot of trash. And I see, you know, and like I said, I see these young guys and young ladies doing their music, but it's like, but then what?
That's people what I was saying. What I see, I'm sorry to cut you off, so sorry. But I get what you're saying though, because I would see so many artists think that like all you got to do is go to the studio and record and you're done. Yeah. Like no, because even if that song go platinum, it go make a hit, it go viral. What you gonna do next? You know, you feel me? You got to embody the platform that you're trying to be about, which is hip hop. You got to give back to the community, brother, sister. You got to give back to yourself. It ain't just going to record a song and that's it. It ain't just going to do an interview and that's it. Like, no, keep up with your shit. You feel me? Do you think for one moment I'm wasting my motherfucking time? Hell no. Because you're not wasting your time talking to me either. Feel me? We trying to do something together, and it doesn't just stop here. You know, you got to branch out. You got to be an artist that can put your hands in multiple areas. You know, you got to touch the people.
You said hip hop. There are elements to it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're missing a lot of those elements.
Yeah.
We want to be looked at as hip hop artists, and you know, even these little rappers are shying away. I'm not a rapper. No, yes, you like you said with being hip hop, it's almost like a responsibility that comes with it.
It is.
If you come into this game, even these young guys, they disrespect the OGs to the point where, okay, do it. But you don't realize that in 30 days, after TikTok and wore your song out, after radios and wore it out, nobody's going to care about you anymore.
Yeah.
You have to be out here. If I was still into music and I was like popping, I would be out in these communities. People got to touch you, because music today is not tangible like it was. It meant something to leave Sam Goody or FYE or one of these music stores with the CD in your hand and read that cover from front to back and see who produced it, read the lyric sheets, have it in your hand. You felt it's tangible. You got to know who that artist was. If you were a fan of Lil Wayne, it felt like you grew up with him because you had the CD in your hand and you owned it, and this was a part of you, and you actually invested into it. Now that wall, it's a wall up because everything is free. You can just get online, press play on YouTube or whatever. And yeah, as an artist, you're going to make money off of your AdSense and whatever streaming revenue you get. But every dollar you make is a second that comes off your career. Mm-hmm. And you only have so much time because most of the time they can't double up on another single. I told people, take Fetty Wap, for example.
I was just thinking about him. Fetty Wap is a perfect example of making a hit.
Three on the radio at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
No artist has ever done that. This was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Fetty Wap today?
That's what I was saying.
I told people with Lil Nas X, I was like, I hope this kid can bounce back from this single because this single's huge.
Right.
And I keep an ear to the street. I'm more of my own type of music type person. Like I like what I like, but I still listen to it and like these young kids, Roddy Ricch and things like that. But I'm more on some music that's going to be around. Like I hear it and listen to it, but I actually still pay for music if I like the artist. I still pay to this day. I will still pay for their music. I'll buy the vinyl. I'll do whatever. But when you just live off of a single, like when we take Lil Nas X, he broke the Billboard record with #1 hit. It was a very big crossover. It made a lot of money. And I told people, I said, yikes. This ain't looking good for him. Ooh. Because he didn't drop a project. That song was big. He should have slept in that studio for 3 weeks.
I agree.
And dropped an album. He should have brought whoever in because you are on fire. Whoever you work with is going to come to that studio. They're going to drop what they're doing. Drake will drop what he's doing. Whoever will drop what they're doing to come and collab with you because that benefits their careers. Well, he could have got Drake, T.I., Young Thug, Roddy. He could have got whoever. And Rihanna, he probably could have got Beyonce on his song. He could have maxed out on this album, even though he would have had to share the royalties with him. It would have made a bigger impact because his flame was so high.
Right.
But he didn't do anything, and people were sitting there kind of waiting, and he dropped these 7-second snippets of a song with a video, like a weird video, and then that's it. And I doubt he'll ever return. He might pop up in a Sprint commercial or something here and there, but musically, he's done. And it's sad to say that. People can call me a hater all they want, but I've never been wrong because and it's not about the artist. It's not this has nothing to do with him or Fetty Wap. This is about the consumers. The consumer base will see something new and shiny, and they will run over there and be like, "Ooh, it could be another Lil Nas X, sound just like him. He's new, and they run over there, and now
Yeah.
Lil Nas X is like, whoa, what happened?
True.
Because people, because you're not investing in the microwave society we're in. Their thirst it's just unquenchable. It's give me music.
Wow.
I need new music. So my son, he's 12 years old. I could probably put him in the studio and pump out a single and pay for his college or something. But
For real though.
But that's it. I ain't gonna be like, yo, you got a career, but the reality is when you can step back and you can actually see something and not be emotionally invested in it, you can see it for what it is. And this industry is a reflection. I've always said the industry is always a reflection of society.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, none of these artists, like we've had more deaths, unarmed black men being killed by policemen, and then this whole situation again happening. And none of the music reflects it. Had this happened in '94, Tupac would have been on it, Queen Latifah would have been on it, MC Lyte. We would have had people come together, Digital Underground,
NWA,
Public Enemy, and everybody would have been talking about it. They would have came together and made a song. These artists don't care about nothing. Yeah, this is the first time music has never reflected what's going on in society.
You made a valid point.
Yeah,
that is so. You know what? That is so true. I just made kind of like that same statement the other day, just talking amongst my people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the peoples that I work with is in Jersey, and their project they just dropped is called The Quarantine Cleanup. It's 8 tracks dedicated to what has been going on as far as the pandemic is concerned. They got a song called The Outbreak. They got a song called Social Distancing. They got a song called Curfew, Stimulus Check. You feel me? You feel where I'm going, right?
Oh, wow. Is this out?
Yes, it's out. It's on SoundCloud right now. And I've been trying to push it. We all been trying to push it. It's Speak Your Mind Records, and mine's is YO because we're together. I'm affiliated with them. Theirs is YA. So Speak Your Mind Records. They on Instagram, SoundCloud, Facebook, and it's just like y'all don't feel like this is one of the first set of artists that I've seen in the game that's actually paying homage to the times we living in. You feel me?
Wow, I gotta hear this.
Yes, I will send you the direct link. It's actually on my Instagram, my link tree, and you'll Speak Your Mind Records, and it's right there. Take you to SoundCloud and everything. It's a beautiful project, and the reason why it's so beautiful is because, like I said, they're staying present in the moment, the present in these times that we're in, and some of the artists like Ill, he actually got ill, and that's his name. He got the COVID-19. He tested positive for it, got a call from somebody at work. He so happened to be asymptomatic. So he was a carrier, but he wasn't, he didn't know he had it, and he was, probably spreading it to other people too. So he quarantined himself for 14 days or however long it take. I know it took my mama 40 days to quarantine. I'm just glad she back on her feet. You know what I'm saying? So, but it took them a long time to, to get this project going. They knew they had to do it because we all have stories to tell coming out of this. We all have stories to tell when we're all on the other side of history, because this shit is big. It's killing a lot of people.
Think about how we look at people with the Black Plague and even the first the Spanish flu. How we look at that, like this is almost like some Holocaust stuff. And I'm not comparing it to the Holocaust, but when you say you lived through it, like this is, and this is another sad take from the live through it perspective, because that's what's going to kill a lot more people, because when they open up, some people's mindsets go, I survived, it's over.
No.
And they're going to party and hang out like we made it. We you know what I'm saying? We good. And I think about that movie. You ever seen that movie 13 Ghosts?
No.
Yeah, it came out like early 2000s. It had Rod Digger in it, but it was about these people that had to go live in this house, and it was this, you know, it was this corporate setup, but they celebrated too early, and come to find out no, it wasn't 13 Ghosts, it was another movie. But anyways, they celebrated too early, and come to find out they what they were celebrating basically didn't happen, and then some other things occurred. But this is what it reminds me of, and we're so used we're trying to get back to normal in the worst way. I see people, I have friends when I come in town, they try to come and hang out, and I'm like, yo, you gotta take this serious, man. Like, you know, this is like my sister today. She saw me, and I kind of kept my distance, had my mask on, but she was like, you know, oh, we trying to come through. Nah, I can't, you know, and I want them to take it serious. And if they see me take this serious, and they will.
Exactly.
But back to that. But back to the music with what they're doing. I mean, I'm when you said it, I don't know why Dead Prez popped in my head, like the group, rap group. But I definitely want to hear it and just hear what they're saying, because I know they're saying something, and I like music that says something. I can't, like, I don't even know how to recite this new music because it ain't saying nothing. And I'm like LeBron. LeBron, I remember a song, and he'll remember a song the first day it come out.
Yeah.
But if they ain't saying nothing, they talking about popping perks and sipping lean, and I can't. But you know, I mean, I'm excited. Just when you told me that, it just gave me hope. Like, I know this is just one group, and there's probably many more like it, but that's what our kids need. My kids, I see my daughter's, she turned 14 today, and my oldest is 17. And I hear what they listen to, and it's like, it's not too far off from what I listened to growing up. They'll listen to a little bit of the new stuff, but they're kind of some old souls, so we got hope. But what represents us as a culture needs to be more direct to who we are and what we're going through and what we stand for, and that's where the problem lies. If we took the era where, let's just say, Public Enemy was out, and they were not allowed to be Public Enemy, or Public Enemy wasn't on the forefront of the industry, but these other little one-hit wonders were, it would serve us no justice. The game would have been dead a long time ago. And I'm not saying the rap game is really dead, but it's on life support right now.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think if we look at like Tupac and Snoop and Ice Cube, imagine in '95, Tupac, Ice Cube, and all them people were in you had to go hunt to find their music, but you could find Skee-Lo on the radio singing "I Wish I Was a Little Bit Taller" and Special Ed, and those is in Positive K, I Got a Man. Those were the hit songs. That's how the industry is today.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
that is so true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just glad you made that point. I mean, that was an excellent point to be honest. That's something, a narrative that should be pushed more, just to kind of look at the music from then until now and everything, because you were right. Like, had this pandemic been happening in 95, 94, we would have had a slew of artists come out with some type of album dedicated to these times. Like,
right,
there would have been multiple artists on one song.
Yep.
And music heals. It heals sick people, and right now we're sick. I mean, people are sick, literally. Not just sick from the virus, but it's a different type of virus that gets in your head when you don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's called being desensitized. It's called being jaded, you know? And that's the most scariest virus I've seen throughout mankind, because that's the virus that it's a fog over people's brains, and it has not been lifted. Has not been lifted. So
and it's here. A lot of people, and it's sad how desensitized we are. And like you said, the music definitely heals. I have like, it's like we have a soundtrack through life, you know,
Yes.
and I have like playlists on my on my iTunes or Apple Music, and I just listen to, and I'm talking about, I've had these playlists for years, and I still listen to them because I hit a shuffle or something because I know what's coming next. But it's just like, man, I just need to zone out and just, you know, get away from life, because a lot of it for me is kind of spiritual in a sense. Not really super like religious, but you know, I definitely believe in God and things like that. But we have to be here. We have to live this life. So what do you do with this time? And music gets us through it. And I don't think this music is the remedy, um, the way it could be. But I do find gems here and there, and I do find things to keep my spirits up and things like that. If I don't have it in me myself, um, you know, with just some type of, you know, I just, like you said, they're on SoundCloud. I'm probably gonna be bumping them for a while. You know, I don't know,
Yeah.
but people, you know, they put me up on stuff, and I mean, I listen to like a lot of music, but I'm so stubborn with music.
Mm.
But I know what we need, and what we need,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, is we need some music that not only just satisfies us, but puts a fire up our ass and makes us want to do better as people. Makes us,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. We
Exactly.
definitely need that.
The message behind the music, like, yo, if something you're saying is not resonating with me for whatever reason, might not be saying too much of nothing. I mean, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
keeping it real. You feel me? That's
Yep.
all I'm doing. I mean, it may resonate with some people for the moment, but I'm talking
Yeah.
about a lifetime, a classical hit. Yeah, I can bump this to my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
When I
that's what I
play
need.
music, my kids be like, "Oh, who's that?" And I would tell them, and they'll add it on their Apple Music. And it's like, this how crazy it is. I'll play a song from like 98, 97. I'll play like Diggable Planets or
Right.
whatever I'm feeling. And my kids, or one of my kids will, "What's that, Daddy?" And I tell them, like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Or they know the beat because somebody else used it now, and then
Yep.
they rock with it. But let me play a song from last year. I'm like, "Daddy, you listen to that old stuff? We don't listen to that no more." And that's sad, because we can play something 20 years ago and everybody go crazy. Play a song from 6 months ago, they be like, "Oh, we can move on from that." That lets you know how much substance this music lacks coming out. And again, it's not the music industry in its entirety. It's just the music that represents us. It lacks a lot of things. And it's like, I don't know if the powers that be are intimidated by a uprising of us with understanding our music contracts, or what day and age we're in, or whatever the case may be. Maybe that knowledge in the music, because we will take knowledge in music, but we take it in a book, you know. So I think that's the problem, is just the music that represents us as a culture that's on the radio. Because as basic as the radio is still the most powerful, because more ears are listening to the radio. Because we get people to say, "Oh, go to SoundCloud, go to this site, go on here and find." No, what's playing daily, 180 times a day, is what people are going to take serious. They're not going to take serious that song they had to go find on some website or on some
Yeah.
mixtape website. So radio validates you. So radio is still powerful, and radio, they have a responsibility that they're not even upholding. Because
Yep.
if you look at music from 25, 30 years ago, I remember when DJs, and I was talking to our local, this guy, he's like a legend, Sean Tyler. He was 103, and then he on Hot 103 for years, like 30 years or something. And I remember when they would break music. Oh, I got this new artist. He came up to the studio. I'm gonna play that for you. I think this song's a hit. Pump it or dump it or whatever. Like, you know, they play it and we're like, oh man, who is this? If you look at all the old movies with 5 Heartbeats or Temptations or whatever, when that song played on the radio, whether it was New Edition, whoever, the radio validated you and your career took off.
Yeah.
Now, if a radio DJ plays a song that's unwarranted or they didn't permit that song to be played, that radio DJ would get fired.
Yeah, basically.
Because, yeah, it's controlled by what do they call them? I forgot what you call them.
Yeah, I forgot what you call them. But yeah, the higher ups, like not the FDA because that's something else. That's food.
Yeah, yeah. But the program director, that's who it is. The program director predetermines that. So if I'm here in Kansas City, or if I'm in Atlanta, or if I'm in Seattle, Washington, I'm going to hear the same songs on the radio because it's an umbrella. That umbrella dictates whatever they're owned by the same entity. So everything that falls under it, they control that. They control everything. So it's like we don't feel the music like we used to. Like soul music, you felt it. That's why it was called soul music. It's something you felt in your soul. It just touched you. This new music today, you know, that's being pumped to us, and this is just in regards to that. It's good music out here still, but what's being pumped to the masses is not soul. It's not touching us. You know, it's like, okay, what's next? That's how we feel about it.
Microwavable music, basically.
Yeah, these are pizza roll music.
Said pizza roll music, right? Exactly. That is so true. Well, Bobby, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Now, if you want to get some shout outs real quick, you know what I'm saying, to your peoples or whatever, or just talk some more shit real quick, that's cool with me. For real, because you done gave me a whole lot of gems to go with.
Oh man, I ain't got no shout outs. I mean, shoot, I'm just living. I'm actually working on my deck at home. Like right now I'm redoing my deck, you know, just doing some work. But, you know, it was definitely a pleasure being on here. You know, I hope that I can come back, and when I got some stuff going on, like I was saying before, definitely I've written some scripts and I can't wait to see it. Man, I have I can give you the ideas, and I don't mind because
cool.
So one of the films is called Run, and I just found out another movie just took that title, but it's okay because it was all tentative. But it's about a guy who he spent some time in jail, and he was kind of like a petty hustler or whatever, but he ends up getting out. And he's a ride share. He's on probation, so the probation requires him to get a job, and he ends up working for a ride share company. And he picks up a guy that his car broke down, but the guy leaves some drugs in his car.
Damn.
And yeah, so that stunt there causes the guy that left the drugs in his car to get he's working for like a mob, like a mafia type, like a drug cartel. So the guy's car he left it in, that will be actually me. I'm going to actually do this role.
Cool.
He ends up they reach out to him because they find out who car he was in, and then he brings them the product that he didn't know that was still left in his car, and then they hand him the money. And then the movie ends up turning out that he ends up becoming a drug runner for them accidentally. So it becomes bigger and it spirals out of control. And it's like I finished that one. I had that one. That one's totally done. And it has a subplot as well. I mean, he has a family and his kid. Like it's some things that kind of intertwine it, but it's a really good story. People are gonna laugh at it. They're gonna love it. They're gonna. And I wanted to make sure it had multiple emotions. It just wasn't trying to feed you a bunch of funny, or kind of like Master P did with this new I Got the Hook Up too. I don't know if you've seen that, but
no, not yet. What the hell?
Oh my God. Watch the first 7 minutes of it. You'll be so done. But I wanted to touch all those emotions through this movie. And again, I want this to, I'm going to present it at home, and then I'm going to try to get it in the film festivals. And then from there, if there's any interest in it, I mean, I can take it straight to Netflix, or I can take it
to
the quality. Yeah, the quality that I'm going to film it in is going to be automatically. It'll qualify for their standards for Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. So that's one. And then so I'm gonna give you the first. So this one is not as in depth, but okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do okay. So this movie's called This Can't Be Christmas. And it's a Christmas film. Man, I don't want to get that title out. I'm gonna have to do something about that title because I really love that title, but it's called This Can't Be Christmas. And you know the guy that played Luther and Set It Off? He was the boss. Set It Off with
Oh, yeah. I remember him. I remember.
So, so I ran into him a while back, and I told him about this movie, and I said, you will make the perfect supervisor in this movie, because I wanted to hint towards him being Luther and Set It Off, but not really. Okay. So, but the story is two brothers, or two cousins, accidentally they fumble a little robbery. It's like a little robbery. So the two older cousins end up going to jail. So they get out on Christmas Eve, and the two brothers work in a mall, and they feel like they owe them, like y'all owe us because we did time for y'all. And I want to give you the whole gist of it, but I just, again, I have to get it all going. But anyways, so they try to get them to set up the mall to get robbed, because Christmas Eve they bring in a lot of money, things like that. So it has a really good soft ending, like, okay, everything comes together. I don't want people to look at it as like a Friday After Next type movie.
Right.
Look at it more of look at it more of like a man, I don't even know what category to put in, but it's going to be comedy. Right. There's going to be more comedy, but yeah, they want them to set up the mall to get robbed. And just some things happen. So, but those are two of them. I got some more, but I'm just ready to get behind the camera. I've been buying camera equipment. I got all my software. I got everything I need, just about. And I'm gonna do this myself. So I mean, I have a crew with me, but I'm finding it all myself. And I really want to get into movies, doing movies full time, and just being behind the scenes, not even doing the acting anymore. Just really want to be behind the scenes and giving other people opportunities. So.
Oh, that's beautiful, Bobby. I love that. And I gotta appreciate the fact that you revealed so many things on the show today about what you got going on. You feel me? Like, that is true love. Much respect to you and your craft. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's dope.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. And I'm tapping into artists for the score, the soundtracks, and stuff like that. So it's going to be. I think it'll be a good look for people. So I definitely appreciate it.
Definitely. Well, you guys heard it here. That was Bobby J right here. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the love and respect from you all too. And I'll see you guys on next weekend or whatever. Yeah, let's get it.
Absolutely. Let's get it.
Peace.